Kyle Klingman with FloWrestling. Our guests, plural, Avry Ryhal and Leyna Rumpler. They are the focal point of a new women's wrestling documentary called Iron Maidens. Love the name Iron Maidens. It's about their story about competing against each other, but then the race to get Pennsylvania sanctioned girls high school wrestling, which of course we know is sanctioned. You guys competed against each other during that first sanctioned season during 2024 season. Guys, I got to ask you this. How do you guys get involved in a documentary like this? And how do they get lucky enough that you guys wrestle four times throughout the course of the season? Avery, we'll start with you.
You know what? I don't even know how we got into this documentary. We were at the Butler tournament, and that was the first time we've wrestled each other. And I know Leyna knows Tony by association. I'm not sure how they know each other, but yeah, he just came up to us after a match, and he was like, "You know what? We could make a good story out of this."
Tony, he's a family friend of ours, and um he's done this is like a passion project. That's what he calls it. Because he's done two other ones. They weren't as mainstream as this one. So this was kind of on the fly, super experimental. He lives a few houses up the street from me, and we've known him for a long time. His brother, his son, and my brother, they live together. They're best buddies. So we've known each other for a long time, and we're really close families. And he wanted to do something on girls wrestling in Pennsylvania because he knows me and he knows like the year before I was a state champion. So and then once he saw that it was officially sanctioned in Pennsylvania, he
Uh-oh.
knew that he wanted to do something really exciting with it. He didn't expect it to get this big. I don't think anyone expected it to get this
Mhm.
big. We were really hoping for it and really pushing for it, but it was super exciting. And he came up and asked me, he was like, I want to do this. I want to try. I don't know anything about wrestling, but I want to do this and I want to learn through this season because it is such a monumental thing.
Lena, we'll start with you and then go to Avery. Going into something like this, it's told that you guys are friends. What was the level of your friendship going into this rivalry?
I mean, we were pretty close. We wrestled a few times during the freestyle season. She was my first, Avery and I
Yeah.
wrestled my first ever freestyle match at Viper Pit in 2021. And she took me down and laced me and teched me. So I was like, okay. And then she came down to one of our club practices because we were both going to Tulsa, and we we got really close from there because we were working together and we were practice partners. And she would just whoop my butt every day because she's an awesome wrestler and she's so experienced. And I was just starting out. And it was just like such a coincidence that it's just crazy. I mean, yeah, we're just both really close because kind of we both grew the sport. Obviously, there's a distance between us, so we didn't see each other as often. But when we see each other at tournaments, we know each other and we say hey and like I don't know.
Yeah, like definitely going off of that, uh when I wrestled her for the first time at Viper Pit, I was like, dang, this girl's gonna be good. Like when Dan told me that was her first match in freestyle, I was like, gosh, because she was so strong. And I was like, she's gonna do something, she's gonna be big. And like from there, like Tulsa, uh we grew really close there. That was our first like big tournament together. I Was that your first like bigger tournament, like Tulsa probably?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just grew from there, like, and we're only like an hour apart, so we were able to practice with each other sometimes, and I just grew really close to her and Dan, and I would go up and practice sometimes with her club, and just like we would have one-on-one sessions sometimes. So yeah, like we just grew from Viper Pit to now, and we stayed friends.
We won't give away too many of the details because we want everyone to watch Iron.
Yeah.
But you guys wrestled four times. That's one of my questions I always ask when you have a rivalry and your friends is how the friendship survives. Avery, talk about that when you go into a competition and you know you're going to see someone down the line. How does it affect the friendship when you're in the moment and you want to win that first state championship in Pennsylvania?
I think there was a lot of tension because we knew we were such good friends, and I don't. I knew that neither one of us didn't want this to like affect our friendship. It was hard. There was definitely a lot of emotions, but no matter what, at the end of the day, like a friendship matters more than what happens on the mat. Oh, and about us meeting 4 times, I have no idea how that happened. I mean, we do live so close together, like only an hour apart. So what a coincidence that we wrestled each other 4 times during the season.
I for at Butler, I wasn't completely surprised because it is a middle ground between our two schools. But when she came down to Lebo, that was like, what? That's a really far drive for you. And then we did have to wrestle 2 more times, and there was a lot of raw emotion, and Tony did a great job capturing that and really digging into us and getting us to be vulnerable, which I'm grateful that we were both able to do that because it is such a hard thing to do, to be vulnerable in front of a camera, in front of someone that's not your best friend or a family member, and that other people are going to see. But I keeping that friendship is something really special within girls and women's wrestling because we know how to put it to the side on the table, and we value that more than the wins and losses. And like when we step on the mat, we're going at it. Nothing like everything else is put on pause. But then once we're off the mat, yeah, there's going to be emotions. You're going to feel certain ways, but there's still going to be a love and a friendship that's still there no matter what happens.
After the match is over, any of the matches, how long before you calm down and say we really are friends, or does it have to happen after the state championships are over? Lane, we'll start with you.
First one, it was pretty easy. I Because it was a quick short match and I was used to not winning to Avery. And then second match, it was a little bit different because things had changed and it was something neither of us had experienced, something neither of us really expected to say. But like no matter, like I said earlier, no matter the emotions, you're still gonna care for that person and you're still gonna have a love for them, no matter regardless of what happens. There's still gonna be some feeling of care towards that person and the relationship that you guys have.
Especially after the second match. That's something we've never experienced between us, and try not to give it away. But it's I mean, again, feelings go, and like it's hard. So it took me a little bit. It took me a little bit, but I realized there's always gonna be friendship there, and it doesn't matter. Wrestling's gonna be in the present, but a friendship's gonna be forever. So
Avery, we'll start with you. What do you think when you watch this? Because this is the course of hundreds and hundreds of hours condensed into about an hour of documentary. What do you think when you pop it on for the first time and you're watching yourself go through all this and having those memories of what happened?
it gives me butterflies every time because it was such a special moment in both of our lives. And rewatching it, it kind of just puts me back to where I was 2 years ago. Like, this is the first time and last time we both get to wrestle at regionals, at states, at districts, and like doing that together and like having those feelings. I feel something every time I watch it.
I always get wrestling anxiety, no matter how long ago it is or what match it is. I always know what happens. And whether I win or lose, I'm gonna have anxiety. And the first time we got to watch it in its entirety, I was shaking. Like I just my whole body,
Me
especially
too.
towards the end, my hands, my legs, I was just shaking. Like even now thinking about it, I'm shaking a little. Um, but especially towards the end, it's really heartbreaking for me just listening back on how I felt because I knew, I don't know how to word it. I knew that certain things weren't true, but it was how I felt. And it truly does break my heart because I know other people feel that way too when they lose a match or when something happens that wasn't supposed to. And I'm really glad that Tony was able to qu- question the way things he did and pick and chose what he put in the documentary. And my hope for the documentary is for young girls, whether they're athletes, not athletes, wrestlers, how old they are, it doesn't matter how old they are, that they're able to overcome those anxieties and those fears, those outside perceptions, and realize that at the end of the day, it's just a sport. It's something that is supposed to be enjoyable. It's something that people are supposed to love and have fun with, and that it's not the end all be all of what happens.
When you look back at the experience, a big part of this story is the sanctioning of Pennsylvania girls high school wrestling. How important was that to you guys to be part of that historic first championship? And we'll start with you, Avery.
It was so important to me. I've been wrestling for 15 years now, and 11 years of my life I was wrestling guys, and it was very tough on me physically and mentally because obviously I don't want to be wrestling guys. I want to be wrestling girls. I had to get shoulder surgery because of it. Wrestling like a lot of hate, like confusion, like why are you wrestling the guys? It's weird. Like I did it because of the love of my sport, and I didn't have any other options. So being able to be a part of the sanction in Pennsylvania and like getting to wrestle in that first state championship and just being a part of it in general was so important to me and like was truly like a special moment in my life because I've been working my way towards it since I was a little girl.
I obviously haven't been wrestling as long as Avery. I started my freshman year of high school, so this is my sixth year, not even half of what Avery's done. So I never got to wrestle with the guys. So I can't imagine what that would be like. But for me personally, I my first year, there were only two other girls on the team. And everyone got to go to states, no matter your record, no matter how long you wrestled, everyone got to go. And then the second year, it was a little bit more competitive, but I'm pretty sure everyone still got to go. And then the next year was when you had to qualify for states. And we knew that pretty soon it was going to be a dogfight for who would get to go and whose season was going to end. And so when I remember I saw in the hallway, I was standing in the hallway of my school and I saw that we got 100 schools. I was like, "Oh my gosh. Like this is going to happen really, really soon." And I was already envisioning being in the Giant Center because I had been in it once to watch the guys state finals. And I was just trying to imagine how they would integrate the girls. Like, it wouldn't be a different weekend? Would they do different schedules? How would they do the state finals? And then a month later, I believe somewhere around a month later, PIAA voted on it and it became sanctioned. And so it was official and it was like, oh my gosh. Like I wasn't even a part of it for that long. And I felt like I helped accomplish something, even though I was just a small, tiny piece. And it was just such an excitement because Pennsylvania is the powerhouse of wrestling in the country. And it was like one of the last few states to sanction. And we're finally being recognized at the same level as the boys, which we are at the same level as the boys. We just needed that title to prove that we were just as good as them.
Leyna, we'll start with you and then go to Avery. When there is a documentary, they're going to be filming your every move at tournaments, doing interviews. Do you get used to that at some point?
I definitely did. At first, it was really weird when Tony came to my house and started setting up these big lights and had this fancy camera. I was like, what on earth is going on? And he he was really off to the distance. When I'm getting ready for matches and whatnot, I don't talk to anyone. I don't look at anyone. I'm in my own world and he knew what to do. So I didn't really acknowledge him at all. And then as the season went on, it was like he wasn't even there. I did get used to it, which I'm very thankful for, and he did a great job of letting nature run its course and not trying to interfere or play with any sort of outcome or probe in the middle of any tournament and causing me to go off balance and whatnot. But it does eventually go away. You just have to kind of compartmentalize it.
At first, I was a little awkward because like he would be standing there and like recording me. I'm like, yeah. But as time went on, I kind of got used to it, and like I knew his presence was there, but it didn't really bother me, and I could just stay in my zone. But yeah, it never bothered me or how I did competitively or anything.
It's been a year and a half since the completion of the Pennsylvania State Wrestling Championships in 2024. Since that time, what's your relationship been like with each other? Avery, we'll start with you.
I still think we're pretty good friends. I mean, it's hard since we're in college now. I know that we're both very busy. Um, but I think we still keep in contact. Again, it's very hard, like class, practice, sleep, eat. So it's very hard to be able to keep like a good contact. But when we talk to each other or like when we see each other in person, like I think the last time we saw each other was the showing of the documentary, or it might have been a little bit after. I don't remember, but we still talk to each other as much as we can.
Like Avery said, it is hard because of such busy schedules and we're pretty far apart now. Um, but we still like each other's posts on Instagram with like even just an acknowledgement I think counts, and I think it's good to acknowledge each other's existence at the very least.
Yeah.
Um, but we're now in the same wrestling region,
Hmm.
which might see each other there, who knows? Um, but we're probably going to see each other a lot more often at various tournaments because I'm now in Pennsylvania and we got all those tournaments. So we're definitely going to see each other a lot
So
more, whether
yeah,
we're wrestling against each other or we're just passing each other by.
might have to make a part two.
Yeah.
Just
It
kidding.
seems like it could happen, though. Are you guys ready for that possibility?
I think so. I think we're in different mindsets in different parts of our life. So I think so. I think we actually were pretty close last year at nationals. It was a win or lose. We were gonna wrestle each other. If the other person lost or the other person won, but unfortunately, like not unfortunately, but like we didn't meet up each other. We were on the same side of the bracket at nationals though, so there was definitely a chance.
I'd be completely fine for it because we've both gotten different practice experiences. We both had different coaches. We're in different eras of our lives. So it would be interesting to see how things played out.
Avery, and then we'll go to Leyna. If there's one thing you could pinpoint about each other and just say, this is what I like best about this person, and this is the skill I wish I had that I don't have, what would that be?
Her will or like determination. Like she's worked so hard at the beginning where I beat her. Not to sound bad, but I beat her pretty bad. And then during states, not to give it away, but I did lose one of those matches and I'm like, dang, this girl's worked hard. So her determination and just her will to keep going and fighting. Yeah. Also her strength. She is so strong. She works so hard.
I would definitely have to say her confidence. Avery is very confident in all of her moves, everything that she does. And I think that's very aspirational, especially in the growing era of girls and women's wrestling. You got to have the confidence, and because confidence messes with your opponent's head, no matter if you're good or not, but Avery's obviously very good.
Oh,
So that
thank you.
doesn't even matter. Um, but her ability to just believe in herself, no matter who she's going against, it's very admirable.
It sounds like, regardless of the outcome, that you guys have made each other better, not only on the mat, but you'll take those skills of what you're able to do for each other moving forward past wrestling. Does that sound accurate for both of you?
Avery and I, we've both shaped each other. She's shaped me to be a better wrestler and just overall, because like I said, we started practicing when it was my first year and it was her 11th
Yeah.
year,
I don't
something
even
like
know.
that.
Yeah.
But she was very experienced when I was not very experienced. And I feel like I've helped shape her a little bit. I don't know
Oh,
how,
definitely.
but like, I don't she's definitely helped shape me to become a better wrestler and person on the inside and outside.
I gotta have to say the same thing. Like, she's definitely shaped me. If she doesn't think she has, she definitely has. Like, wrestling each other during the season in high school to having this documentary, I've learned a lot about myself and her as well. And I think we've both grown as people. She's grown as a wrestler. I've grown as a wrestler. And I think we've helped each other learn more about ourselves and one another.
Let's end with this. Your highlight memory of doing this documentary, Iron Maidens. Avery, we'll start with you and end with you, Leyna.
My highlight memory is the Butler tournament when we were sitting next to each other and we first figured out that, like, first realized that we're going to be doing this documentary. And we were like, I don't know, Tony plays this part in every, like, snippet he does. And he's like, we're both like, we're going to win states together, like 148 and 155. And, like, how that shaped our documentary and it didn't turn out that way. I think that just a big moment in our documentary.
I definitely have to say the Mount Lebo tournament and post Mount Lebo tournament because not to spoil, but that's when things changed and the unexpected happened. And there were a lot of emotions between the both of us, and you could just feel it through the screen. It's like it really shows the duality of wrestling because it shows the triumph and the defeat. Um, like that was personally a very big accomplishment for me because it was something that really I thought it could happen, but I didn't know I didn't have the full confidence in it that it would happen. So I think that is probably my favorite part of the documentary.
What feedback have you guys gotten about the film?
So for the showing, that was back in December, and it was like the first time anyone outside of us and our families had gotten to see it. Avery was there for the first one. I was there for the second one. Coach Van Diver, Erin, she's in it, talking about the history of wrestling in Pennsylvania against boys. And I remember I took a picture with her son because he was so excited and he loved it so much. And also I help coach with my school's youth team. And I remember two of the girls on the youth team walked out and they were like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." And they just gave me a big hug and then he took a picture and then her dad was like, "She was rooting for you the whole time." And I love those girls so much because I hope that I'm a big role model for them and I want to help inspire them and help them love the sport and truly enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use Coach Van Diver and Tom Tomio, her brother. They were there for my showing, and was Coach Aaron at yours as well? Or
No, just for the
no,
first one.
first one. Yeah. Um, I grew up with Tom. He was one of my first coaches, and him just like I don't know. He kind of got tears to my eyes, and he had tears as well. He was like seeing you grow up and like seeing the documentary. He was just very proud of me. And then there was a bunch of little girls there as well. Like I don't know who the girls were. I feel bad because I don't know who they were, but they got photos of me and they were just like, "You are awesome," and like you did that, and even you as well, Leyna. They were like, "You guys are so awesome," and they were just inspired. Like it's such an inspirational film. I feel like, and it brings courage to other little girls and other even teenagers or young adults wanting to wrestle.